What's up, messengers? It's Manny Monroe of Shoot the Messenger, and I'm here with Tel, serial entrepreneur and movie producer. We're here to talk about his up and coming projects and Trap City. How are you here today?
Excellent, Manny. Glad to be here in Atlanta. And your shoot the messenger. I only heard don't shoot the messenger. It's very interesting to. I hope I don't shoot the messenger here. Doing excellent. Glad to be here in Atlanta. Atlanta is starting to become my second home now because every month I'm here.
I love to hear that. We talked earlier, and you said you've been in Detroit for 35 years. So, making this your second home, what makes you so comfortable to come to Atlanta and, refer to this as a second home?
I mean, I've been coming here for the last 5, 6 years, I should say. Got involved in a movie called Trap City, so I came here for that. And then also the music scene. This is a mecca of music. This is where the culture is reverberating, and so therefore, and the market is huge. If I look back 35 years ago when I came, Atlanta was nowhere in the scene, right? And Detroit was the largest city at the time. Now Detroit took the place of Atlanta. Atlanta took the place of Detroit after some 30 years.
Wow.
Right? And it's vibrant. The market is huge, and it's the reality TV capital of the world, I should say. And so there's a lot of things going on in Atlanta.
I mean, well, you're teaching me a lot of things. I had no idea we were like the number one reality television. I mean, it is definitely growing by the day. We have new artists coming out daily as well. And so you mentioned it's big on the music scene. I mentioned that you're a film producer, but many don't know that you're also into, recording artists. That's what makes you a serial entrepreneur. What brought you into that space?
I think that's because of my son. Originally, I was in a car business, designing cars, working at Chrysler. Then got into tech entrepreneurship, mostly in engineering. And then from there, I got into film. And then my son graduated and then said, Dad, I need to get into hip hop. I said, what is hip hop? And right. And so I said, well, okay, what do we do? So the curiosity in me, I was trying to crack the code. And so, and 5 years later, I'm almost in every major entertainment city, whether it's LA, New York, Miami, Atlanta, of course, Detroit, I'm there, even Nashville. So I've been into almost all markets, and that's how I cut my teeth into music business as well. Now we have some distribution thing going on, label services, the whole 9 yards.
Well, that makes you dad of the year, to go from doing what you do, serial entrepreneur with several other businesses, starting with car dealerships and car sales. And then your son just tells you, hey, I want to do this. And you dive headfirst into that. That is beautiful that you believe in your son in that way. Can you tell the people a little bit more about your son? What's his name? What's his actual name? What's his music name? So on and so forth.
Yeah. So his artist name is Ashwin Gain. His real name is Ashwin Ganesan, much like my name, last name. And he's a music producer, started as a music producer, and then evolved into an artist, sort of like pop rap, if you will. And he has the voice almost of Pop Smoke. And some people say it's Barry White's voice. Really? And some article have said deep, very deep. And somebody, the journalist said, "Oh, it's like an R&B crooner." Then I said, "What is R&B crooner?" That's when they says Barry White's voice. Oh my God! And then he has a very deep voice. In fact, one of the studio in Miami, Vincent Herbert, who found Lady Gaga. Yeah, and so he was playing for him about 3, 4 years ago, and they were playing the song, and somebody was hearing the song downstairs. I said, "Wow, this is such a deep voice." So they just came up, and then they said, "Wow, where is the 400-pound black man?"
Oh, wow.
And they were looking for a 400-pound black man. There is no one. And there's find a little Indian kid sitting in there. I said, you sure? Your body and the voice don't match. And so he has such a deep voice.
Love to hear that. So, how long has he been doing music altogether? You said 5 years, pretty
Yes.
much. Okay. And so, just going back into Trap City, what brought you to that? This movie, this film features Brandon T Jackson and Young Jeezy, business mogul and icon in the hip hop world. He's also being in real estate. A lot of people don't know that. So, circling back, what brought you to that after just discovering hip hop?
Well, Brandon T. Jackson, who's a Detroit, our own Detroit native, he brought this idea to me, and then he said I should get involved because I was producing other mainstream movies. First time, he wanted me to get into urban, and then like my the curiosity brought me into that, and then from there I reached out to Jeezy, and then I casted Jeezy for the movie. A little bit down the road, but we got him in there. And then that really came from my son. Again, he said, Dad, we got to have some street cred and all that. I said, what is street cred? Do I go to Publix and buy half a pound of street cred? And then in the search of figuring out what a street cred is, that's how I ended up where I was. And then what is street cred? It's all curiosity. If you really look at whatever I'm doing, it's really based on curiosity, right? And then curiosity leads to action, right? Oh wow! Oh, this is what everyone is saying, and so that starting from first principle without knowing anything, and then you learn and learn and learn, and then you find out that you know better than the people in their own backyard, and then after 5 6 years you beat them in their own game, and that's really my journey so far, and I sort of enjoy that. And every man needs to have a high, whether you have alcohol or weed, and this is my high.
What a great high to have. This is something that you could just continuously level up on. You could always dive deep and further because one thing about street cred and the streets, they are ongoing, ever going. So, give the people a little backstory about Trap City. We just discussed a few things on the way here. And I mean, it just gets so deep and where you're taking it even further steps from just the movie. But let's give a backstory on what happens in the film and what's the deeper meaning behind it.
Yeah. So the movie obviously is Trap City. I think the story is all about a sister separated from the brother due to death, right? And a son separated from the father due to incarceration, right? And a man separated from a past because all of them have a second life. But regardless of whatever happens in this city, we walk in faith, right? And that's what this movie is all about, right? But then the story is really a struggling rapper working for a drug lord, does a viral song, gets arrested. After the viral song, his fame intensifies. He comes back from the jail, and then he falls in love with the drug lord's girlfriend. And yeah, so what he does, whether he redeems himself or he gets caught in the trap, and what he does is a story. I would like you to watch the story and figure out what the end is, but it has a very spiritual message to it. Regardless of wherever you are, whatever trap you are in, there is always a way out. So the tagline for the movie is don't get caught in a trap. Now, the movie itself has a street undertone to it, but the message is that it applies to everyone. Everyone is caught in a trap, whether you're black, whether you're brown, whether you're white, and everybody's caught in a mind trap that you cannot do this, you shouldn't do this, nobody did this in our family, nobody did this in our generation. And so this movie is all about how do you get out of it. And and there is and the way to get out of it is to have faith in yourself and faith in the process. Because faith, after all, is one of the most powerful emotion, you know, after love, right? Right. So that's really where the faith comes into play.
What a great way to describe that. I really love the spiritual aspects. Having faith is very important, extremely important, and no matter what you decide to do in life.
Yes.
So just to get a little fun and funny, I would like to discuss certain things. I would like to know more about you. Have you ever seen lottery ticket that is one of Brandon T Jackson's biggest films,
Yes.
and one of, I believe, if not one of the first films he's ever been in? Had you ever seen that movie?
I've not seen Lottery Ticket, but I saw the first movie, Tropic Thunder.
Okay.
So Tropic Thunder, I've seen many times. That was one of the blockbuster movies, I should say. But I've seen clippings of the Lottery Ticket. It was very funny, and so now I know Brandon for a very long time.
I love that. Okay. And so we touched on Brandon T. Let's talk about Jeezy now.
Yes.
Do we know any Jeezy songs? And if we do, can you go ahead and sing a little bit of one of them?
Yeah. I don't know how to sing a song. Put On is the one that everybody knows, right? But the one that I really is ad lib. I love. Yeah. So one time, I was in his studio, so the assistant and all that. I was just using the ad lib before Jeezy would come in. So, so that is my way of mimicking him. Yeah.
That is so fun. You were also discussing a good moment that you and Jeezy had. You all had grown, somewhat of a bond. And it was funny because it came full circle. There were some doubts in somebody that, said that you possibly couldn't create this film. And then there was a beautiful ending that Jeezy mentioned. Not only, should you had did the film, he would like to work with you in the future.
Yeah. I mean, that was a verification and a validation. Obviously, Jeezy came down to the premiere in Detroit, and he treated us well. He took all of myself and the crew to the hookah lounge, and then so he had a great time. And then as he was leaving, he did say that I think we should work on another movie. So in that moment, I realized that even though when I started, there were a lot of apprehensions, not just from him personally, but in general, is that how could a person who never been in the culture, how could a person who never been in the street could authentically take on a movie project like this, take it to the finish line, and still be real? So that was my journey. And then in my what I was saying, who says that I shouldn't do that? Who created those rules? And I wanted to disrupt those rules. Not only I wanted to disrupt, then I wanted to say how untrue that is and let the result speak for itself. So when I did that, and then also even in the distribution itself, they were very apprehensive. Oh, this is a trap movie. Who would watch all that? But it went on to a theatrical distribution throughout the whole country, almost on every AMC theater. And people felt like, oh, it's a Tubi movie. No, it's not a Tubi movie. It's of a Netflix quality. Sure enough, it got streamed on now Stars, and it became a number one trending movie, beating even BMF and 50 stars and 50 cents. I mean, those who were done with, big budgets and big promo, with no promo, it became a number one movie. That's when I realized the people have spoken, right? I can't make this up and I can't pay for it. And so when people are spoken, what it tells me is that what I was thinking 5 years ago was true. and I should continue to believe in what I was thinking and not fall for the trap by the society, by the so-called rules created by somebody for their own benefit, right? And then I said to myself, doesn't matter where I come from, because that it's also a trap. If I believed a brown guy, a person of Indian origin or Indian heritage should not make a movie like that, that is a trap. And I wanted to get out of the trap. And sure enough, I did.
What a great way to think of that. And that's a great message to tell the people. Get out of this trap that you all think that you may be in. There's always a way out. And I mean, you have a podcast coming up soon that would give people more in depth, ways of getting out of traps. Do you want to tell the people a little bit more about that new podcast, when it may be coming out, and who else it features?
So the podcast is coming out very soon. Even before this article this comes out, probably will release it. I've already put about 10 episodes in there in the can, about to go. So I have a co-host based out of Michigan. Her dad also went through, died due to suicide. So she felt like that is a trap that, he went through in his life. And, for all the things, in the world around, mental health and wellness seems to be top of the agenda, right? And so with the movie, there are about 10 traps in the movie itself. Glam trap, addiction trap, all kinds of fear trap. Fear is also a trap. And so what I wanted to do is take that concept and turn the trap city into a movement and free everybody's mind from their own trap. Because everybody is living in it's not the prison, physical prison that we are talking about. Yeah, people go there, but a lot of people are living in their own mental prison created by themselves. It's like a bird, living in a cage. And so my goal is to take this message beyond the movie. Of course, I want people to watch the movie. There is an entertainment component to it. But beyond the movie, how can we take this and free oneself from a single trap? It could be any trap that they are in. Addiction is also a trap, right? And then now with the social media, attention is a trap. How many people are watching my reel? Keep on scrolling. That is an addiction by itself. And instead of focusing on going to fitness and doing wellness, you are in attention situation. And so how do we help people, young people, get out of the trap? Because the world has changed now. All the kids, they are born with the iPhone, this and that, and iPod, and the gaming and all. The world has completely changed, the world we know. So all those things are being discussed, and I wanted to take the movie beyond that format and turn them into a podcast format through Mind Trap, and then bring a guest who went through a similar trap and talk about how to break the trap breakers, from a spiritual component, from a scientific component, from a practical component, by asking very simple question: who says that? Right? And you should not do that. Who says that? But if you keep asking that question, there is nobody but yourself.
Nobody but yourself.
Yes, and that's really what that mind trap is. So I'm hoping to turn that into a movement and then really, make an impact to the society at large. And that's the kind of work that I wanted to do. And if I can remove 1,000 people from their own trap, I think I'm leaving the world much better place than where I found.
That is great. So do you have a date set for when you're looking to release this?
So since you asked the question, let's say by end of October 31st, it's going to go live.
Wow, that is very, very soon.
Yeah.
Are we ready for that? Are we ready for, people to get a glimpse into what you've been thinking about? Also, we did discuss you had a hand in the script. And so you changed it, you minimalized it, you did a few things. So you are very hands-on with what you do. So that is pretty cool. But are you ready for people to get a glimpse into what you've been thinking about this whole time?
Yeah, I think I've been bond ready. So I think the moment has arrived. And so, yeah, is ready for prime time. And then probably even come back to Atlanta again and even do a live podcast session here with a lot of people and then put the message out there because the world needs to hear this message. It's not so much about Trap City, it's not so much about myself, it's so much about how one can use this to get out of the trap. Because I didn't know that I was myself was in a trap. And then after doing the movie, I realized, wow, everything is a trap. And then it became more and more. So now my singular mission is to get out of the mind trap. And even sometimes I even apply to myself. And a lot of those limiting beliefs that I had are being shattered by this movie, right? Because, now from the film, I got into music. And from there, I'm getting into the hair, the beauty side, and the fashion, and the wellness. Now, who says I shouldn't do that, right? From a tech, being in a nerdy world, being in a car, I have nothing in common with anything that I just said. But then everything is so common. And that's what I realized in this whole mind trap as we were shooting the initial episodes. Nothing is common, but everything is common. And that's what I got out of Trap City. Because if you really look at it, on the surface, it appears there is nothing is common because I have nothing to do with the streets. But then when you realize, go underneath, the struggles are almost the same. It's a human struggle, regardless of who you are, where you are from, the struggle is the same. It has different flavors to it. I agree with that. But end of the day, it's still a human struggle. It's still a human emotion that we go through.
And as they say in the hood, the struggle is real. And so, and we're going to wrap this up pretty soon. I would love to talk about the hair. Okay. I got a glimpse into the hair. I saw the commercial. Let's talk about their hair and see what's going on, what you're bringing to the table.
Yeah, I'm bringing a lot to the table, as you know. And as I was involved in, in the film and the music, and some of the people brought to my attention, hey, you got to bring some hair from India. I said, why? And then I said, wow, they have the best hair, especially the South Indian women seems to have the best hair. Maybe they do the DNA, or maybe they eat a lot of coconut and curry. I don't know. But whatever they do, the hair is highly sought after. And that too from the temple, especially from South Indian temples, where the Indian female, they donate the hair as a sort of like a spiritual process, right? And then those hair are brought in. So there is a lot of meaning to the hair. Single donor, 100% human hair, authentic, straight from the temple to here. So then there is an unmet need. So I'm as an entrepreneur, so that's how it got started. And so we are in a process of launching the hair very soon. It's already launched, so we're trying going to scale. And that raises confidence, and it allows somebody to step up their styling game. Like for yourself. You just did.
I know that's right. So tell the people where to follow you and where to see some of your new up and coming projects.
I'm almost on all channels. My handle is Telk Ganesan, Ganesan. You can find me on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and website, and even TikTok, but I'm not active on TikTok. Now with a lot of things going on, so I may go active on TikTok. So I'm everywhere. I'm Googleable. So if you Google me, you will know more about me than myself can describe. So thank you so much, Manny. Yeah.
Of course, this was a great interview. You have a really great backstory. I'm excited to see what you have coming up. Thank you so much for taking the time out to do an interview with Shoot the Messenger. Thank you.